We've got our timing set installed on there. We've got our degree wheel and a pointer. And the first thing that we want to do is we want a piston stop here on the top here. So I just got a piece of scrap steel here, and I just drilled and tapped the metal, and I got a lock nut on there, and then I just got a 1/4-inch bolt here, and I've smoothed off the head there. So we've installed that piston stop on here, just 2 bolts holding that in. Again, we've got that lock nut that's holding this bolt that we have on there. And then we have, the reason I use the bolt head on this side here is less likely for that small bit to say puncture or scar or damage the piston anyway. It's more surface area, I suppose, for it to contact is the idea. The reason we have that piston stop in there is that when you get the piston to find top dead center, there's a certain amount of play, we'll say, while the piston is at the top before it changes its direction. So the theory is that the piston goes up to the top. There may be a handful of degrees where it remains at that stationary position before it starts to come back down again. So the piston stop is going to stop it before it goes up to the top there. And what we want to do is we're going to turn it clockwise till it contacts the stop, and then we're going to look at our degree on the wheel here, and then we're going to turn it the other way until it contacts the stop, and then we're going to look at our degree on the wheel here, and we want both of those numbers to be equal. And if they're not equal, we will take those 2 numbers, we'll add them up, divide them by 2, we'll get the average, and then we will set our pointer to what that average number is, and we'll continue to do so until we have where the piston contacts the stop and we have an equal number on both sides or both directions of rotation. What we've done is we've rotated the engine clockwise until that piston has hit the stop there. Now when we take a look here, it looks like we're at about 33 degrees. So what we're going to do is we're going to rotate it counterclockwise, and we want to see that stop at 33 degrees on the opposite side. So it should be over here, it should show us 33 degrees, and that's your difference. On either side we want an equal number. We've now rotated it counterclockwise until again it contacts the piston stop here, and when we come down we're going to see that we are at our 33 degrees on the other side. So we have 33 degrees here and we have 33 degrees on this side. So now we can remove our piston stop, and then we're going to rotate this to where our pointer is, and that will be our true top dead center. Now we've turned our crankshaft in clockwise rotation until we're lined up with our pointer. That's going to be at 0 at top dead center. There you see. And now that's where our piston is, and that should be true top dead center. The next thing I'm going to do here is I've got my dial indicator set up, and we've got the factory push rod on there, and that's going to go to the factory lifter, and that's going to be a roller lifter on there. And then we've got both the lifters installed with our anti-rotation device in here, and that's all original equipment to this engine. So this is a profile of the camshaft lobe, and it's going to describe everything here. We've got the top is the nose, the bottom is the heel. It shows our base circle of the camshaft, which would be the diameter of the camshaft, and then the lobes are basically built off of that. And then we have our closing ramp and our opening ramp, and then in the middle we have our lobe center line there. Now we're going to look at our cam card here, and this is provided by the manufacturer that we bought our camshaft from, and this is all the information related to our camshaft. Gives us basically our when the valves open and close for the intake and the exhaust, and then it's going to give us our duration, and then it's going to give us our lobe lift. And then these are our rocker ratios, and I do believe with the factory Magnum engine we were dealing with a 1.6 ratio. So you would take that number and you will multiply that by 1.6, and then you would receive this number. We want to verify the numbers that are on this cam card here. Now, before we get started, we need to understand that if the numbers are close but not exact, that does not mean that the camshaft is no good. There's a lot of factors involved here. There's the camshaft that is going to the timing set, which is connected to the crankshaft. There's a lot of variable there, and if it's close, but it's off by a little bit. It could be any one of those components or a combination of that is giving you a different reading other than what is on the cam card here. But we should expect that it should be very close to what it states. We're going to rotate the crankshaft, which is then rotating the camshaft in a clockwise or counterclockwise direction. And we have the dial indicator making our reading. And we're going to start off from this point right here. That's going to be 50 thou. We're going to take our measurement off of there at 50 thou with the dial indicator. Then we're going to look at our degree wheel and we're going to see what it says. Then we're going to move it in the other direction. Now, when you're going counterclockwise, you need to go past 50 thou and then you need to go clockwise again back to our 50, and then once we've done that, we can be sure that we get an accurate reading again, because what we're doing is we're taking the slack out of the timing chain that way. Then you're not getting a false value there. So we're going to get a reading here, we're going to get a reading here. We're going to use those values to find out if in fact our valve is opening like it says here. So here's our open and close for our intake. And that is going to be at our 50 thou as stated. That's why they've given you that information. And again, we're going to use that 50 thou again, and that's going to be for our duration. Now that's how long the valve is open for. That means that once we've taken our reading here and we sweep that dial indicator all the way around till it comes to there, that is going to be the duration as stated on there at 50 thou. So it goes from 50 thou to 50 thou. That's our accurate measure, and that's how we're going to get our measurement for that. So this is how long the valve is open, from 50 thou to 50 thou, and then from the base circle to the top of the nose here, that is going to be our total lift. The way we have everything set up, we can calculate all those things right now. We're going to start with our base circle. So we want that lifter riding on the base circle of the camshaft. That's going to be represented with 0 on our dial indicator. We're going to rotate this thing clockwise until we get up to our 50 thou, and that's going to be our starting point. Our lifter is just starting to ride the profile of the cam, and we've stopped at 50 thou. We take a look at our dial indicator. That is our indication that we're at our 50 thou. And if we look at our illustration here, this is the mark we're at right now. Now we come to our degree wheel here, and we're going to look and see that we are 3 degrees, and that's going to be before top dead center. The reason that it's before top dead center is that this is rotating clockwise and it has not hit top dead center, so that is before top dead center. Now we've rotated it counterclockwise. Again, when we rotate it counterclockwise, we're going to go past 50 thou, and then we're going to go clockwise until we reach 50 thou. That's going to be to reduce any slack that's in the chain here so that we get a proper value. We take a look there. That is our 50 thou as indicated on our dial indicator. And if you want a visual for this, so that was our direction rotation. That was our first reading. And then when we went counterclockwise, we basically, the dial went back around this way and we swept up past 50. And then we went clockwise again until we hit 50. So that is how we're getting our 2 values there. Now this is where we've got to kind of understand how things are working, because this is after bottom center. So now we're going to be going this way. This is 10, 20, 30, 40 thou. That is what we're reading. So that's going to be 40 thou after bottom center. Now it says opens at 1 degrees before top center. We measured 3. It says that it closes 41 degrees after bottom center. We measured 40. So I just wrote those things down on here. Again, we're going by our 50 thou. That's where we're taking our reading from. It's 3. It's supposed to be 1. We're out by 2 degrees. It's 40. It's supposed to be 41. It's out by 1 degree. Now what we're going to do is we're going to take our 3 from up here. We're going to take our 40, and we're going to add that to 180. 3, 180, 40, and that's going to equal our 223, and that's going to be our duration. And as we see on here, again, with our 50 thou, we're looking at 222 duration. So we're only off by 1 degree. Now while we have everything set up, we can take a look at our lobe lift. Don't have to change anything, just have to rotate the crankshaft and take some readings here. Lobe lift is supposed to be 0.0 0.343. What we're going to do is we're going to set our dial indicator where it's reading off the base circle. And then as soon as it starts to read off the base circle up to its maximum point. So what we'll do is we'll go until it reaches its maximum point, and then when it starts to go down again, we're going to bring it back, and we're going to play back and forth here until we get our maximum value. And that's how we're going to get that. And it's going to be from the base circle to the nose of the profile of the cam lobe here, and that's going to be our total lift. So we're on our base circle of the camshaft right there. We're just going to start riding up the profile of the camshaft. Right now it's reading 0. So I'm turning this in a clockwise rotation, and we're starting to see a value on the dial indicator here. Once it goes past 0, that's going to be 100 thou. 1, 2, and that's going to be 3, past there, and now we're getting close. We're just past 39 there. It's close enough to 39 that we'll call it 39. So that was 3 sweeps of the gauge. That's our 300, and then we add our 39. That's going to be 0.339. Back on the cam card here, we're supposed to be 0.343. So we're 4 thou out on that one.